Hello everyone, my name is Renuka, Assistant Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. In previous class we have dealt about what is the simple way of designing hardware and software, and we took an example of hot air blower, right? After designing a simple hardware and software, the next will be what will be the methodology which will be implemented in designing the real-time operating system. It has been a very tough task in order to design a particular kind of a real-time operating system and the kind of software that will be supportive to such kind of technology, right? So let us try to understand about real-time systems development methodologies. So the main aim of this chapter is shows how specification, design and implementation can be considered as a process of modeling. Okay, what kind of specifications that we have to look into for the one particular kind of modeling that is required for a plant. Describes the major methodologies. So we are going to study about couple of methodologies, okay, and major specification that we have to look into in these methodologies, okay. Provide a more detailed understanding on one methodology, that is Jordan methodology, that we are going to study in detail with an example. Okay. To the introduction, the need of any real-time operating system is to develop a robust, reliable software of high quality of real-time computer control application, and it is difficult for any of the tasks that has to be dealt, and it requires application of engineering methods. So having a robust and having a very reliable source of software is a real challenge in a real-time application system. So that is what is the basic need, right? So there are certain methodologies that has been described earlier. So just let us look into what are the different kinds of methodology that came into being. First is called as a MASCOT, which mainly talks about the design, construction and operation and also the test tools required for it. And it was developed in the year 1975, okay, by Jackson and Simpson. CORE really stands for Controlled Requirements Expression, and it's from British Aerospace System, which was designed in 1979. And lately, after that, based on the specification and simulation tools, in the year 1984, ZAVE came up with a development of PASLE. And DRATS, that is the Design and Analysis of Real-Time Systems, in the year 1984 by Gorman. JST, which is Jackson System Development, in the year 1983, mainly dealt with not the real-time system but a non-real-time system, but they tried to have a greater emphasis on how we could develop for a real-time systems. Okay, and Jordan, because it's a first era of Jordan basic methodologies for a real-time system which was developed. So it was taken into part A and part B for the further development. So in part A, it is structured design and development of real-time systems, which was given by Ward and Miller in 1986, and they supported this kind of methodology. And in the year 1988, Hatley and Pirbhai also supported Jordan's methodology, wherein strategies for real-time system for a particular specification was being designed. And Hood was hierarchical object-oriented design, and that was developed in the year 1989. So these are the different kinds of methodology that came into being from the year 1975 till 1989. This is how it started developing. Okay, from the basic non-real-time system to the real-time system, then having both real-time and non-real-time system, and then improvising on the specification and the details, and then coming up to the hierarchical system. Nowadays are real-time operating systems. So any of these kinds of methodology has three major phases. The first is called as the abstract model. The equivalent of requirement specification, it is the result of requirements capture and analysis phase. So what do you mean by that? It is abstract, that is just nothing but the visualization of what your thought process is about to get the real content in a real-time operating system. So it is just an abstract Okay, so it's an abstract model that was based on the kind of specifications that you're looking into in a real-time systems. So the equivalent of the requirement specification was listed, and based on that, what kind of results could be captured and analyzed. This was basically an abstract model. Okay, so any such methodology will have to have any of these three phases. Next is the implementation model. So once you have an abstract about the specification and design, next is what is a kind of implementation model. Okay, from the visualization to actual implementation was been dealt under implementation model. This is an equivalent of system design. It is the product of the design stages, that is architectural design and detailed design. So after having a visualization of how a product would look like, then you are talking about the designing aspect and detailed designing about the visualized abstract model into the implementable design. Okay. Next you have implementation. The process of mapping the implementation model onto the physical hardware, specifying the software modules and coding them. So once you are ready with the abstract model, then what do? You actually get how it could be implemented. So implementable designed phase. Okay. After designing, what do? You have to have a hardware, okay, and you have to have a specified software and then a coding system, so that all it can coordinate between the hardware and the system software. So, okay, so that is called as the implementation model. So any of the methodologies that you're going to choose is basically they have to have all the three phases. First is the abstract, other is the implementation model, and then you have the implementation model, and then you have the implementation phase or the process. Okay. They all have phase overlap because of complex system are best handled by the hierarchical approach. So whenever we are going to think about a hierarchical model, we have dealt about the hierarchical model in chapter 2, that is module 2, where you have a lower design level, then you have a higher design level, correct, based on whatever the implementable architecture that you are planning for in a plant, that is a lower phase, right. So designing part, it is very important and it is very popular to have a hierarchical system, okay, and that's the reason we say that it has a phase overlap. Phase overlap is you have a low level, then you have intermediate and a high level, right. So even if you're talking about abstract model, okay, then you have implementation model and then you have implementation process, correct. So they all these three will have to have an phase overlap, okay. Phase overlap in the sense each phase has to be interconnected, so that even if you are talking about the implementation part, it is completely the designing and coding part, it should be able to reflect back from where the abstract model was designed. Okay, and if you are talking about the abstract model initially, then you should always have a idea as to what will be the kind of implementation level that we are going to look into. Okay, that's the reason we usually call this as phase overlap. Okay. So all methodology requires CASE, that is computer aided software engineering tools, for their effective use. For it will be time consuming for you to get the implementation level as quickly as possible. Okay, so it will take a lot of time and it is time consuming process if CASE has not been used. Okay, so coming to the software modeling, how does the software modeling look like, right? So you have a user here, user's concept. Okay. So user has a concept as to how you are going to implement the visualized thought. Okay. So that visualized thought has to have kind of specification, that becomes your abstract model here, right. So there are specification based on the visualization. So after that, what you can just say that technological non-specific. So you don't have any specification, but you have just abstract model, that this is how the plant should look like, this is how the product should look like, right. But you don't have a specific details about how this technology exactly will be implemented, because it's still in its abstract model, right. Then enhanced abstract model, in the sense you're going in detailing about each and every aspect of the abstract model. Okay. Now it is almost the stage of implementation model. Okay, implementation model, where you have to have a design guidelines. So you need to have a design, okay, and the overall designing. Then later on you have to have a specific and detailed designing about the individual components that you have to have in the hardware, okay, and then you call that as a implementation model or the architectural model. So when you have the architectural model, what will happen? It is completely designed hardware, and now you have to have a specific software that could be enabled, okay, which will enable the hardware which has been designed, okay. Then you start writing the codes, okay, coding system. So that becomes technology specific. Here in abstract it is non-specific. It is just the visualization which is in just abstract model. But here when you come to the implementation part or implementation model, then you have to have a technological specific. So what kind of connectivity are you going to have? What kind of data are you looking for? Whether you have the processor, inbuilt processor, how many multiple processors are you using, okay, and what is the time slicing. So all these things, all this specification has to be dealt well within this implementation model. Then you have what is called as real system. So the entire operation here from the user basic concept or of visualization can be divided into three. One is called the requirements capture and analysis. Then you call it as a design aspect, and you have the realization. So first is the requirement, what kind of requirements that you want. Then you are going to design. So after designing, what is the realization? Realization mainly ends with what kind of real-time operating system that you are going to design finally, okay. Next, so based on the different kinds of methodologies, let us just look into a few details about the methodologies that were being used in 1975, okay. So now CORE by Mueller in 1979 specifically designed for the requirements capture and analysis phase of the development, that is the construction of the requirement specification, okay. So it mainly dealt with only the requirement specification. So from the abstract you are going for the technical specification, okay. Then it is an attempt to find an approach that will reduce the amount of information that customer forgot to tell one about, or of course it will never be reduced to zero. You can never, why it is so called like forgot to tell one about, because every time when you are trying to design and implement, there will be new thoughts that will pop up in your mind, which is still in abstract and visualized mode, right. So now that has to be implemented as and when you are going to design, but that cannot happen as and when you have already reached the implementation level, right. It has to happen in the abstract model itself, right. So we don't call it as a zero. You can't say that you have absolutely no other ideas. So the ideas might come into, or you might be able to visualize as and when you try to design any particular plant or any hardware, okay. That's the reason it is called as forgot to tell one about, okay. So forgot to tell one about is you still have many concepts in your mind that could pop up as and when you are going to go for a implementation level, okay. So that is the reason in CORE, that is Mueller, he tried to give a definite specification details, okay, when the kind of abstract model could be designed, okay. Next, JSD, that is Jackson System Development in 1983. So that was mainly used or widely used in a non-real time system. So it is just a trial check as to how the specification that was used in Mueller could be supported in non-real time systems. Once the non-real time system really works well, then it would be going towards a real time operating systems, right. So widely used for non-real time systems, it is a data driven method and supported by CASE. CASE we already know, aided service tool and tools, mainly for program design facilitating the speed builders and network builders. So data driven in the sense, how could you actually make sure that multiple users can be communicated, okay, in a non-real time environment. Sorry about that. So it is mainly a data driven method and supported by CASE, that is a computer aided system, and it mainly facilitates the speed builders and network builders. So it always supported the speed and network builders, wherein you could have a communication between one system to another, but still it supported a non-real time system. So it is mainly about the data flow. What is the number of traffic that will be available on a single time span? Okay. Mainly used in a data flow method and uses functional decomposition and preserves natural data flow. So it has a functional decomposition where the entire task will be broken down into simple activities, and then it will be decomposed to get the original time source, okay, wherein you have a specific task defined for a specific time. Okay. So that is the functional decomposition. Okay. So this is mainly dealt for the continuous data flow, and it also depends on what is the data flow in the network. So it always supported the non-real time system. So these are some of the aspects of JSD, and there are a couple of them again. So the abstract model in JSD is a network of processes. So there are basically three types of process. One is called as the input, output and internal. Input, these detects action taking place in the environment, that is the events, and pass these events to the internal system. So whatever the what is the input, it detects the kind of event that is present and it passes on to the internal system. So that becomes the input. Okay. Then you have the output, they pass the system response back to the environment. So system response is given back to the environment, just the opposite of the input, right. Then you have internal, these deal with the event reported by input process and action resulting from other internal processors. They pass event and action to output and the other internal processors. It is communicating between one system to another system. It is, it is trying to send information from the environment to the system and from system to the environment. Okay. So that is the three different kinds of processes that are there in JSD. The processes are connected in two ways to form the network. There are two ways in which they are connected. One is called as the buffered asynchronous data streams, another is called as a vectored connection. So if you have a vectored connection, it is always convenient to have an inter-system communication, okay, where the data could be transferred from one system to another system. That is possible when you have vector connections. So Hood in 1989, a new approach for a real-time methodology, and is based on an object-oriented approach. It is targeted at implementation based on the use of ADA, but can be adapted for the use of other programming language. ADA and the language that was supported in the earlier 1989, and this is a new kind of approach for real-time system. This is a new methodology which was implemented. VDM, that is VINA development method, are aimed at producing a formal specification of system. It is possible to prove what is consistent. So how the system would be consistently working. So that is the major advantage of the system. The possibility of transforming a specification into realized implementation and providing that each step in the information is correct. So providing the corrective actions for each and every step is included in VDMs. Okay, but there are certain limitations in this kind of method. At present, none of the languages make any provision for the incorporation of time constraints. So time constraints is a huge limitation in case of VDMs. So of all the methodologies, one of the well dealt and well known methodology is nothing but the Arden methodology. It is a structured methodology based on using data flow, modeling technique and functional decomposition. So it is a modeling technique and also has a functional decomposition. It supports development from initial analysis stage through implementation, and Warden and Miller in 1986 and Ribay in 1988 support the use of this approach for the development of real-time systems. So this is one of the major set through where the real-time operating system were based on the Uden methodology, and they were supported by Warden as well as Hadley. So idea behind this methodology is subdivision of the system into activities. So it is always better to have a bigger task being broken into a small task, correct? So that is subdivision of the system into its activities. Then having a hierarchical structure. Hierarchical structure is always a better approach because get to know about what is the low level and intermediate and high level, and the structure, it is it is very convenient because you'll be able to trace back, okay, from where you have started. Even if it's abstract model or if it is a implementation model, you'll get to know what is the high level language was being developed based on the kind of the low level architecture that you had planned for. Okay, traceability is very convenient in case of hierarchical system. Separation of data and control flows. When you have a separation between the data and the control flows, then you can have multitasking provision, because it will not be where the time constraint can be worked on. Okay, that's the reason a separation of data as well as the control flows. No early commitment of particular technology. There is no commitment. Traceability between the specification, design and implementation. That's a vital or the very important aspect of Youdin methodology, because it is a traceability is very important between the specification, whatever the detailed specification you give about the hardware or the software, and the kind of design based on the kind of hardware and the software that you're designing, and you're going into the detailed designing aspect of hardware and how it has been implemented. So these are the major ideas in the methodology of Youdin that has been supported. So let us study about all these aspects in detail in the next class. Thank you.